Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets buried in those official company reports. And today we're looking at some very interesting future plans that are already being laid out. Get ready for a sneak peek into the future from Cullinan Therapeutics, a company that is clearly betting big on its pipeline. We're going to break down what they're telling us about their cash situation and, more importantly, the exciting progress they anticipate in 2026. And before we dive in, if you love getting these clear, jargon-free insights into what companies are really saying in their filings, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We also have a fantastic community over on Discord, linked in the description below, where we chat all things corporate finance. So do check that out. Alright, let's kick things off with a look at the company's financial health. As of the end of last year, December 2025, Cullinan Therapeutics was sitting pretty with about $439 million in cash equivalents and various investments. Now that sounds like a lot, and it is a strong war chest for a biotech company, especially when they're telling us this cash should last them well into 2029 based on their current spending. That gives them a lot of breathing room to keep their research and development efforts going without immediate financial pressure. It is super important to note though that these numbers are preliminary. The company itself states they haven't finished their official financial close for the last quarter of 2025, so this reported cash figure is still subject to change. Their auditors haven't given it the full thumbs up yet. Think of it like an estimate before the final bill comes. It gives us a good idea, but the final number might be a little different. Now, the really exciting stuff starts when we look at what they're planning for the rest of 2026. Cullinan has laid out a series of milestones, essentially blueprints for their progress in the coming year, which they announced in early January 2026. These are the key events and data releases that investors will be watching closely. Let's talk about their immunology pipeline, specifically a drug called CLN-978. They're running a phase 1 study called Outrace. Right now, they're in the process of increasing the dose in patients with rheumatoid arthritis. They've already completed lower doses without seeing any serious problems, which is great news. The big reveal is expected in the second quarter of 2026 when they plan to share initial data. They'll be focusing on safety, how well the drug reduces B cells in the body, and any early signs that it is working clinically. This is a crucial step to see if the drug is on the right track. They're also testing CLN-978 in patients with lupus and SJ-Jagrin's disease. Similar to the rheumatoid arthritis study, they're moving through dose escalation. For lupus, they're also aiming to share initial data in the second quarter of 2026, looking at safety and B cell reduction. For SJ-Jagrin's disease, they've just started dosing patients and are looking to share initial data in the fourth quarter of 2026. It is clear they're putting a lot of effort into understanding CLN-978's potential across different autoimmune conditions. Another important player in their immunology lineup is velinotamig. They've partnered with a company called Genrix in China, and Genrix started a phase 1 study back in December 2025. We should see initial data from this study in the fourth quarter of 2026. Cullinan plans to use this data to speed up global development, and they will take over all further development for velinotamig in autoimmune diseases after this initial study wraps up. Switching gears to oncology, let's talk about CLN-049. This drug got a significant boost in December 2025 when it received Fast Track designation from the FDA for a type of leukemia called AML. This designation means the FDA recognizes the drug's potential to treat serious conditions and that it could offer a significant improvement over existing therapies. They also presented some really promising data at a major conference showing it could help patients with relapsed or refractory AML who have not responded to other treatments. They're planning to update us on the dose escalation part of the study in the second half of 2026. For CLN-049, they're also getting ready to launch wider studies in the second quarter of 2026. This will involve testing the drug on its own, not in combination with other treatments, in patients with specific hard-to-treat types of AML by the end of 2026. They expect to finish enrolling patients for these dose expansion studies, helping them decide on the best dose for a major pivotal trial, which is basically the final testing phase before seeking approval. Plus, they're even kicking off a new phase 1/2 study for frontline AML, meaning patients newly diagnosed with the disease, and continuing enrollment in another parallel study for patients with IML who have minimal residual disease after initial treatment. Next up is zipalertinib, which Cullinan is developing with Taiho Pharmaceutical. This is quite advanced. Taiho started the process to get zipalertinib approved for a specific type of lung cancer, EGFR X20 non-small cell lung cancer, back in November 2025. They expect to wrap up this application submission by the first quarter of 2026. This is a huge step as it means they believe the drug is effective enough for accelerated approval. Taiho is also working on completing a big study called Resilient 3 for this lung cancer in the first half of 2026. Cullinan stands to gain significantly, potentially up to $130 million in regulatory milestones, plus 50% of future profits from zipalertinib sales in the US. Now, it is crucial to remember that all these exciting plans and upcoming data releases are what the company expects to happen. This section is all about future predictions, and as they themselves state, these are based on management's current expectations. The world of biotech is full of uncertainties, and actual results can definitely differ from these forward-looking statements. There are always known and unknown risks, and things can change. So, what does all this mean? Cullinan Therapeutics is positioned in early 2026 with a healthy cash balance. They have a clear strategy for advancing multiple promising drug candidates in both immunology and oncology throughout the year. The upcoming data releases for CLN-978, CLN-049, and the progress of zipalertinib are the key events to watch. The Fast Track designation for CLN-049 is a significant regulatory win, and the partnership for zipalertinib seems to be progressing well towards potential market approval. The main risk here, as with any biotech company, is the inherent uncertainty in clinical development. Not all drugs that show promise in early stages make it to market. Unexpected results in the upcoming trials, especially for CLN-978 and CLN-049, could significantly impact their stock and future prospects. However, their substantial cash reserves should allow them to navigate some of these challenges. In conclusion, Cullinan Therapeutics appears to be on a solid, if ambitious, path. They are actively managing their pipeline and hitting key development markers. Investors should keep a close eye on the data readouts in the coming quarters, as these will be the true indicators of their success. Alright? That is our deep dive into Cullinan Therapeutics' latest update. What are your thoughts on their pipeline and their projected milestones for 2026? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed for more of these in-depth corporate analyses. And don't forget to join our Discord community. Linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.